Hello, and thank you for taking the time to listen to these messages. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Also, check out the description box for ways to support our channel. Thank you. What's good, family? Today we will talk about healing because a lot of my a lot of my statements may regard or may center around healing. You know, healing, becoming open and balanced, and the importance of being able to have your energy flowing properly so that you can have more clarity, you can have a better quality of life, and also you will have a lot less stress and a lot less worries, as far as just the average cares of life. And that in itself is a valuable thing. But the main reason why I want to talk about healing is because when I speak of us healing as a community, I'm speaking of like generational healing. Not only generational healing, but in that same um, application, self healing. But it has to start with self. Once you start with self and you isolate what's going on with you, then you can proceed forward and figure out, where did this come from? Is this something that comes from my lineage? Is this something that comes from me, et cetera, et cetera? So there's a couple different forms of healing that we're talking about here, but it all really centers around, self-healing. For myself personally, and I'm always going to use myself as the standing example, the guinea pig, so to speak. I experienced a couple different things actually. You know, um, I had a lot of anger inside of me, and I could not. Once I got to a certain age, I couldn't explain it. I once I reached a point where I realized that I was angry, then I had to ask myself why. Why was I so angry? You know what I mean? And in asking myself why was I so angry, that meant that I had to be, if I wanted to get to the root of it, I had to be brutally honest with myself. No matter if I liked or wanted to hear the answer that was at the end, I still had to, in order to get to the root, I had to be brutally honest with myself. And for me at that time, I was approximately about 25, 26, around in there, right around the time when I kind of changed my life and started down the spiritual path. Um, I realized that I was angry at myself, and I was mainly angry at the fact that I had not lived or applied myself to my full potential to really anything up to that point. You know what I'm saying? Like everything had been kind of like, I always had talent and ability, so my talent and ability kind of got me by. You know what I'm saying? And my brother made a statement one time. Jim, shout out Jim, love you, bro. Uh, he made a statement that, you know, like I didn't apply myself, like I never applied myself, like I always kind of half-assed everything and just kind of coasted through. And I realized that he was right. Um, at that point, I had to dissect every instance in my life that I had failed. You know what I mean? And before that point, it was always an exterior reason why I wasn't able to do what I set out to do, or what have you. You know what I mean? Like it was always someone else's fault, you know. Instead of me being accountable and saying, oh, well, yeah, that's my fault. I could have made more of an effort to do X, Y, and Z, or I could have made better plans. I could have done whatever, you know. And so once I came to that realization that it was really myself that I was angry with for not uh, being a more consistent person, and and being more committed to the things that I'm choosing to do with my time and my energy, then, you know, that played a huge factor in it. So from that day forward, once I hit the root of that, I was able to start to change my work ethic, change my attitude, just my outward look on life in general. You know what I'm saying? Um, that's when I really made a conscious, my first conscious shift as far as, you know, starting to become a positive person, starting to think of things in a spiritual or that type of light, you know. Um, and that in turn, you know, led to more healing and more unlocking of different blocks and hindrances that, you know, we may encounter. You know what I'm saying? Because we as people, we go down our path of life, and we grow and we grow and we do these things, right? And then we hit that plateau, you know what I'm saying? Or we hit that brick wall, and then that stagnant period comes in, you know what I mean? And I truly believe it's at those points that, you know, people can either get stuck, or, you know, you have to continue to propel yourself forward, you know? And if you're not being able to propel yourself forward, if you're stuck in this particular behavior or situation, then you have to start to examine why, you know what I mean? And so as I'm growing more as a person, expanding and really walking my path, I noticed that, you know, later in life, you know, I don't have the relationships with women that I should have, you know what I mean? And so I had to really go within again and be brutally honest with self and figure out why I did not, or why it was hard for me to trust women, why it was hard for me to fully let go and fully, you know, allow myself to be in the moment, so to speak. And I did that. You know, I realized that there were different things that happened in my childhood and in my teenage years that contributed to my distrust of women, and also some of my different behaviors, you know, as a man. Um, so I had to be brutally honest with self and be able to take accountability for any role that I may have played in any of those situations, and forgive myself. And that form of healing opened up, you know, a gateway to be able to start to heal relationships, from my past, and with different people that our relationships may not have ended in a favorable way. You know what I'm saying? And through a lot of the healing and things that I've experienced, I've been able to not only give forgiveness, but forgive those who have wronged me as well. You know what I'm saying? And I humbly believe that that's where we as a community, and that's a world community. You know what I'm saying? I mean, again, I don't want to offend anyone, but I focus on my African American branch of our family for this message, or for that particular portion of the healing, because we we've been misled for so long. We've been not given the appropriate information, and we as a culture and community have been we have been uplifting and holding the wrong people and values in high regard. You see what I'm saying? We lift up and we magnify these entertainers and these movie stars, but really at the end of the day, those people don't have any substance. They're actors. They're being played. They're paid to play a role, paid to entertain you. You know what I'm saying? But they have no stake in your personal growth. They have no stake in your personal awareness or spiritual growth or spiritual awareness. Again, they're being paid to portray a certain image or to play a role. So they're being paid to deceive you, being paid to mislead you. And so we have to, as a community, start to redefine what we consider to be our standard. What do we consider cool? I personally think crystals and meditation and reading and doing history is cool. But that's only because I've been a closet nerd my whole life, and am only recently able to allow my true self to shine through. I am an intellectual. I am. I'm a very intelligent person that can sit down and have a rational conversation on a wide range of topics, and even some obscure ones. You know what I mean? So I've always considered myself a scholar of history. You know what I mean? Excuse me. Because I humbly believe that if we don't study and look at where we've been, then we're not really going to be able to heal and fix those past mistakes in order to progress forward to the future. And I took that same approach to myself, and continued to peel back my onion, got to the root cause of my issues, and now am in a place where I can trust, I can freely let go, you know what I mean, and fully allow myself to fall in love again, and so that I humbly want that for every being. I want that for everybody. I want for everybody to be in a place where once you become centered and balanced, you don't need alcohol, you don't need drugs, you don't need any of that, because once you heal those central core issues from your past, whether it be your childhood, teenage years, could be a, traumatic incident, accident, whatever, loss of a family member. Any number of things could throw a person into a spiral, or, have a person stuck in a rut, so to speak, your record's on skip. And I believe that examining those things, fully expressing those things, healing those issues, and when I talk about expressing those things, don't go to a doctor. You don't need a doctor. Don't go to a priest. Please don't do that. You just sit down with the person that you trust the most on this planet, and you expose yourself. You expose yourself completely whole, naked, as you are. Tell every sin, every lie, everything you've ever done that was immoral to the person you trust the most on this planet, that you know is not going to judge you. Okay? Once you've done that, then you will be able to talk about it more, freely express yourself about it more, talk about your feelings on, of remorse or guilt or shame or whatever you may happen to be feeling behind whatever action or whatever incident, Because for some people, some things are so emotional, they can't even form the words to get them out without, they're just completely blocked by tears, completely blocked by whatever, and people are silenced for so long, and they keep things bottled up for so long, that I truly believe that it does manifest into, physical disease and drug addictions and different things like that, from bottling up past issues and past traumas and not addressing them and dealing with them. You know what I'm saying? Or being in a situation where you've spoken out, you've done everything you can do, but the people in your immediate environment or household or wherever you are don't believe you. And, like those people are in complete denial and don't even want to investigate, what's going on. That can cause some serious issues, man, because, if you trust people that are charged with your care, and you express to those people, hey, this is happening over here, whether you're getting bullied and beat up by another kid, or you're being touched or molested by another kid or an adult, it doesn't matter the situation. When you go to the people that are entrusted with your care, they should have an open ear and at least investigate those claims. You know what I'm saying? Even if there's nothing ever comes of it and it's found to be a lie, that you at least found out, oh, well, little Timmy or little Sally's lying, whatever. But by not investigating those claims and just automatically dismissing and writing off, whether what the child's motives are or what have you, or the teenager, whoever, what their motives are, or they've lied before, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You still investigate. When you don't investigate, that's when that individual they feel violated all over again, because not only did I trust this person over here that turned around and did what they did, and then when I go to the other people that I trust with the information, they don't believe me. So really they get violated twice. And that's a very hard thing to deal with as a child or as a teenager, or, you know what I mean? Even as a young adult, being in your 20s and stuff like that, you're still young, you're still learning, you haven't really done any living yet. So when you get out there in the real world and you're faced with, a rape accusation or some kind of sexual assault accusation or some kind of slander or he said, she said type thing to where it's some sort of harassment claim on the job, yeah, yeah, it becomes reality then. Um, and so not only is it a problem for this person that I thought was cool to go run and tell on me, but they told false information, you know, and then next thing you know what I mean? Stuff like that, you know. So there's so many different incidents that happen that can cause that kind of trauma, that distrust, that dis-ease. Hmm. That's where it starts. That's where dis-ease starts because it's a condition that's within you. It's a dis-ease. So once we heal, once we go within, once we start to peel our own onions, you know what I'm saying? We will be able to start on the inside and the internal health to radiate to the external. You see what I'm saying? So the more healthy your internal functions are and faculties are, the more healthy your external, excuse me, faculties will be. So, yeah, excuse me. It's pretty much what it is, family. And as I stated, I always use myself as an example, and I still am healing. It's a constant process. This is a constant evolutionary, constant healing process. You know what I mean? Constant refining of behaviors, thoughts, actions. You know what I mean? Like patterns, different things that we choose to do with our time and energy. And yeah, I'm still healing. So yeah, unlike everybody else, we're all taking this walk together. And anyone who claims that they're 100% this or 100% that, I'd be asking some questions, man. I'd be doing some digging on that person. You know what I mean? Because nobody is above reproach. Nobody is squeaky clean. Nobody is, you know. So we just have to be compassionate and tolerant of one another, you know what I'm saying? And remain in that loving position, that centeredness, you feel me? And then by doing that, we'll be able to freely express ourselves, that truthfulness that brings about that healing, you know what I'm saying? As a collective, you know. So as we start to increase the truth and the dialogue within our own selves, then that will allow us to increase the truth and the dialogue with each other. You know what I'm saying? That'll allow us to freely be able to express love for each other. You know, for it to be okay for two brothers to be hugging and for someone to not consider them gay. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that as an offense, that is no offense, but I am saying that because, you know, I'm a heterosexual and I want to be able to get to a point in myself and in society where we can freely love and embrace each other, man. And we're not tearing each other down. We're building each other up. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, me and my fam, you know, fam and bruh, we were always, like anytime, and this is every week, at least once a week, we would sit down and talk for at least an hour, 2 hours about everything. I'm talking about everything. And like I said, my people's is Jamaican, he's hood, so we would be able to have a wide range of conversation, all the way from intellectual, spiritual, all the way to hood shit. You know what I mean? Like that's just how we were. You know, that's how we are. And you know, there'd be times, man, there'd be all three of us standing there, me, fam, and bruh. You know, we just sitting there, just all talking amongst each other. You know, just passing knowledge. You know, because they always have a unique insight of a life that I didn't live. You know what I mean? I lived a different type of black experience growing up. You feel me? But yet and still, we all find that common ground and we love each other and we come together and we talk and we respect each other. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, I miss those times. You know, like I say, that's my heart right there. That's my brother. That's my fam. He's not my blood brother, but that's my brother. You know what I mean? And I would kill a rock over that dude. Yeah, him and bruh, I would kill a rock over them dudes right there, man. So, but I digress. That's going, you know, towards the healing. You know what I mean? Because people like him and bruh, you know, they're aware of things like that too. You know, and so they're on that same conscious path that I'm on. You know, uh, we don't all live the same lifestyle. You know what I mean? We don't all make the same choices on what we do with our time and energy, but yet and still, we still have mutual respect and love for one another to where no matter what, we can all come together, you know, that once a week and just uplift each other and talk and pass knowledge, you know what I'm saying? And that's so valuable, man. That is so valuable within our community to be able to get to a point to where we can do that, you know, as a collective, you know. But that's just food for thought. You know, take it with a grain of salt. I'm nobody, but I am somebody. Um, I do want to thank everyone for taking the time to listen to this message and allowing me to express my love and express my vision and how I see the world, you know, with the collective. Thank you so much. I humbly appreciate you taking your time to listen. Have a wonderful day.